First of all, read the question properly and write on the given data. So let's write given. So a trapezoidal channel with side slope. So first of all, you write down the given data properly. Side slope is given as 1 horizontal is to 2 vertical. Carrying 25 cubic. So cubic means what? It is a cubic meter per second. So the discharge, let's use the symbol capital Q. It is 25 cubic. Cubic means meter cube per second. Okay. The slope of the channel. So the bed slope. The bed slope. And let's use the symbol S0 to denote this. And it is 1:850. Take chassis C. So the chassis C, it is given as 55. And design the channel if maximum permissible velocity. So velocity, let's use the symbol V. It is 0.6 meter per second. So we need to design this trapezoidal channel. So as you might have observed, this is a question based on your hydraulics topic, isn't it? It's a question based on the hydraulics. So here we need to design. Design means what? Design means we need to find out what is the width of the trapezoidal channel and what is the depth of the trapezoidal channel. Okay. So the same question may be given in terms of your rectangular channel, triangular channel, circular channel. Okay. If suppose a V channel or a triangular channel is given, then you need to design or you will need to find out what is the depth of the channel. Okay. If suppose the question is based on a rectangular channel, then what you need to find out? We will need to find out the base width and the depth of the channel. Okay. If it is the question is based on circular, then you will have to find out the diameter or the radius of the circle. Okay. Anyway, so here are the given parameters. So any question based on any channel, the step will still remain the same. So how will you find out? So first of all, let's assume. Okay, let's assume means let's assign some symbols. So we are having a trapezoidal channel, something like this. So let's say the base width. Let's represent this base width by the symbol capital B. And this is the top of the channel, isn't it? So let's represent the depth of the symbol D. Okay. Now, when you are writing in your exam, if you are doing yourself in a rough copy, does not matter. You could have directly written S, this Q like that, isn't it? But in your exam, you will have to write down the meaning. Don't directly use Q or S0. You will have to first of all assign the symbol to some term. So once you have said the discharge Q, next time you can directly use the Q because you have already defined what is the meaning of Q. But if you directly use Q without defining, you will lose some marks. Okay, the examiner will cut some marks for that. So here I am just writing B and D. So this B and D are not a standard symbol. So what you are going to do, we'll have to write down. So you can write like something like this. Let base width equal to B. Then depth of channel equal to D. Now we have used the B and D symbol. Now we can use the B and D in further calculation. So before solving, let's find out the parameters. So side slope is given as 1 horizontal to 2 vertical. So what is the meaning of this? It means that here we are having a slope like this. So horizontal is this is the horizontal, this is the vertical. So horizontal is 1, vertical when the vertical is 2. But when you solve a question based on a trapezoidal channel, if you are saying that the cross-sectional area, what is the cross-sectional area formula for a trapezoidal channel? You know it is BD plus SD square, isn't it? So what is this S? It is the side slope. But remember, while deriving this formula BD plus SD square, the vertical is always kept as 1. Okay. So but in the question, the vertical is given as 2, but we need the vertical as in something in this format. Something horizontal used to 1 vertical. Always the vertical has to be kept as 1 in order to use this formula. So but our vertical is given as 2. So how will you convert to 1? You just have to divide this by 2. once you divide this side by 2, this side also you will have to divide by 2, otherwise it will be imbalanced, isn't it? So side slope is given as 1/2 horizontal, 2 vertical. So we need to convert the vertical to 1 in order to use this formula. So I have divided by 2. So once you have divided this by 2, what will happen? This will become 1 vertical and this side will become 0.5. So once the vertical has become 1, then whatever is left for the horizontal is known as our S. So therefore your S value is 0.5. Okay, your side slope is given as 1 horizontal to 2 vertical, so therefore your S value is 0.5. In some problem, suppose in your question it's given that it is supposed 2 horizontal is to 1 vertical. Then what will be the S value? The S value will be directly 2 because already the vertical is given as 1. If not 1, you have to convert forcefully to 1. Remember that. Next, discharge, it is in meter cube per second. No need of doing anything, already in SI. Slope, it does not have a unit. So this is also meter per second, it is also in SI. So because you will be solving in SI, it is a good practice. Once you write out the given data, convert all of them to SI. Okay, or all of them to a unit in which you will solve, so that in later on you don't make mistakes. So at the beginning itself, after writing the given data, you just cross check it once and write down all of them to SI if you want to solve everything in SI. And it is a better practice to do in the SI. So base width we have assigned B, depth we are saying that it is a D. And we need to find out what is this B value and what is this D value. That is known as the design of this trapezoidal channel. Okay, so it is a question based on open flow channel inside of your hydraulics. So let's find out how we are going to proceed. Okay, so we are having 2 unknowns. One is B, one is the D. So if you are having 2 unknowns, how many equations is required? Minimum we will be requiring 2 equations to solve 2 variables, isn't it? So somehow we need to construct 2 equations. So let's see, from here you will get the equations. So first of all, your discharge is given, your velocity is given. So from there you can find out what is the cross-sectional area. So your cross-sectional area, since discharge, we know that discharge equal to cross-sectional area multiplied with the velocity. So your cross-sectional area, let's use a symbol capital A. So cross-sectional area will become what? So discharge divided by velocity, isn't it? So discharge is area into velocity. So area will be discharge divided by velocity. So here the discharge is given as 25 and the velocity is given as 0.6. So from here you will get the cross-sectional area as 25 by 0.6. So how much it will be? 25 by 0.6. This will give us 41.667 meter square. Okay, so we have got the cross-sectional area is 41.667, but cross-sectional area is equal to, we know it is the BD plus SD square, isn't it? Since it is a trapezoidal channel where cross-sectional area is BD plus SD square, if the question would have been in terms of a rectangular, then what would you have written? Cross-sectional area equal to BD. If suppose the question is based on a triangular, then what you would have written? Cross-sectional area equal to SD square. So the step will still remain the same as I have already told you earlier. So this will imply what? So cross-sectional area, we know it is 41.667. 41.667 will be equal to B, and we do not know, D also we do not know, plus S we know, it is 0.5. So 0.5 D square. So this is our first equation. Since we are having a 2 variable B and D, minimum we will be requiring 2 equations. So one of the equation we have got, which is 41.667 equal to BD plus 0.5 D square. Okay. Now, so remember, in the design question, the first equation you will get by equating the area. Okay, we have done it here. So second equation, from where you will get, let's see. So since our Chase's constant C is given, isn't it? So Chase, by using the Chase's, if Chase's constant is given, use the Chase formula. If Manning's constant is given, use the Manning's formula. If suppose Cutter's constant is given, then use the Cutter's formula. So you have to make the judgment whose formula to use based on whose constant is given in the question. So here Chase's constant is given, so we will be using the Chase's formula. So you write down using Chase's formula. using Chassis formula. So what is the Chassis formula? We know that V is equal to C under root R S naught, isn't it? This is the Chassis formula where R is what? Where R equal to hydraulic radius. So R is the hydraulic radius. So let's put up the values. So this will imply your V value is already given. V is 0.6. 0.6 equal to C. C is also given 55. 55 under root R, we do not know, multiply with the S naught. S naught is also given 1 in 850. So 1 divided by 850. So you solve this equation. Either you can directly use your scientific calculator by using a shift solve function in the calculator to find out the value of R. Or you can solve it manually. Manually means what? You will have to bring this 55 this side, then you will have to make the square. Once you make the square, then bring the 1 by 850 to the other side. So that way also you can solve it, okay? Anyway, you just solve and find out the value of R. It's just a mathematical equation. So 0.6 equal to, I'm just using the directly solve function. So you have 0.6 equal to 55 under root 55 under root R. In place of R, we will be writing X. Then divided by 1 into 850 or divided by 150. So you press your shift and solve, then you press the equal. So you will get the R value. It is 0.10115, or you can say 12. So R is equal to 0.1012 meter. Okay. So till now we have got the R value. So R value, it was 0.1012 meter, isn't it? Now we know what is the R. We have already said earlier that R means a hydraulic radius, and the hydraulic radius is our A divided by P. So R means, in place of R we can write this as A by P. So this will be 0.1012. So from here, since the A value is already known to us, what is the A value? It was 41.667. So 41.667 divided by P. This will be 0.1012. So from here, we can say that the P value will be how much? So P will go to this side and this will come to the denominator. 41.667 divided by 0.1012. So this will give us the P value. P means what? It is the weighted perimeter. So 41.667 divided by 0.1012. So this will give us 411.73. 729, or you can say it's a 73. So this P, weighted perimeter, it will have a unit of meter, isn't it? So where P equal to weighted perimeter. So we know that since it is a trapezoidal channel, the formula for weighted perimeter is what? So where P equal to weighted perimeter, and it is given by the formula BD plus twice of D under root S square plus 1, isn't it? So this is the formula for finding out the P value. If this question would have been based on a rectangular channel, then use the formula of P for the rectangular channel, which is B plus 2D. If it is a triangular channel, then use the formula for a triangle. So since it's a trapezoidal, I have used the formula for trapezoidal. Okay. So P value, it is 411.73 also. P value is also given by this formula. So therefore what you can say? BD plus twice D under root S square plus 1. This must be equal to how much? This 411.7. Okay, so this is our equation. So you might have seen that this is a relation based on B and D. So we have derived one relation between B and D by using the area concept, and second relation between B and D we have established by using the weighted perimeter. So always follow this pattern while designing a section. Anyway, so let's put the values. So B is still unknown, D is also unknown, plus twice of D under root S value, it is 0.5 as per the question. So 0.5 square plus 1. So this must be equal to 411.73. So this will give us, sorry, P is not BD, this is your B. B plus 2D under root S square plus 1. B plus 2D under root S square plus 1. Okay, sorry, I made a small mistake here. Anyway, so everything is known to us. So from here we will get B plus 2 under root 0.5 square plus 1. So I will solve this. So this will give us under root 5 or 2.236. 2.236 and D. 2 into under root 0.5 square plus 1, it is 2.236 and D I have written as D. So this will be 411.73. So from here we can find out the B value. Okay. So we have earlier we have one equation in terms of the cross sectional area A, and this is the relation in terms of B and D also. So from here you can use any method. You can use the substitution method, elimination method, whatever method you would like to solve a linear equation in two variables. Okay. So I will be using this method. So from here we can write down that B is equal to how much? So this will go to the other side. So 411.73 minus 2.236 D. Okay. So this will give us the B value. Now this B value will be putting back in the equation number 1, where we have already related with the cross-sectional area A. So write down putting value of capital B in equation 1. So what was our equation 1? You write down the equation 1. So our equation 1, it was 41.667 is equal to BD plus 0.5 D square, isn't it? This is our from equation number 1. So in equation 1, we can, in place of B, we can put these parameters. So let's put it. So 41.667 equal to, in place of B, we'll be putting this 411.73 minus 2.236 D, and already there is one more D plus 0.5 D square. Okay. So now you can directly use your calculator, scientific calculator, to find out the D value. Okay. But if you use the shift and shift solve function in your calculator to solve it directly, then you will get just one D value. But our requirement is to get both the D values, since it's a quadratic equation. So by getting both the D values, what we are going to do, we will be understanding after some time. Anyway, so let's solve this manually to find both the equations. Okay. Now we can use the equation solver in our calculator, but to solve this equation, we have to arrange this in this format: ax square plus bx plus c format, isn't it? So that means something x square plus something x plus something c. We have to arrange this in this format. So let's use. So this can be written as 41.667 equal to. So we will have to split both the terms. So 411.73 D minus 2.236 D square. I multiply this with D also. Then we have a 0.5 D square already. So from here, what else we need to do? So we have to find out we have to arrange in this format something x square, so something D square in this. So this can be written as 41.667 equal to 411.73 D minus. So what will happen? 2.236 minus of 2.236, then we have a plus of 0.5. So this will give us negative 1.736 D square. So if you want to arrange this in this format, so this, it is a negative, so you have to make it positive, so you bring to the other side. So if you bring this all to the other side, 1.736 D square, then this thing also it will come to the other side, so this is positive, so if it go to the other side, it will become negative 411.73 D, it's already positive, 41.667 equal to 0. Now you can see that we have arranged this in this format: something x square plus something x plus constant equal to 0. Now, so when we use in a calculator, the mode in the calculator, you can see that Here we have a plus, here also we have a plus, isn't it? Here we have a plus, but here we are having a minus. Many students make the mistake of putting only 411.73 in terms of the B. So B will be how much? B will be negative of 411.73. Why? Because the format of the calculator is saying that it's a positive, but you are getting a negative value. So don't forget to include that negative also. So this will be your A, this will be your B, and this will be your C. So let's solve this in our calculator. I hope you already know how to solve the equation. So go inside of your equation solver, then you choose the ax square plus bx plus c format and put the value of the A, which is 1.736. The B value is negative 411.73 and the C value is 41.667. So once you solve this, you will get the D values. So by solving this, the D value will be, one value is 237.07 meter and the other value is 0.1012. Let's write up to 3 decimal, 0.101 meter. So we have got two values of the D. Why? Because it was a quadratic equation and we are supposed to get two values. Now, out of these two values, which one are you going to choose? So let's see. So since we have to design, we have to find both the values of B, also the value of D. We have just got the D value. So now we will be finding out the value of B. How? By using in this format. So just if you put the value of the D, you will get the value of the B. Okay, so let's make this as equation number 2. Putting value of D in equation number 2. So your first B will be how much? B will be 411.73 minus 2.236. 2.236 multiply with the D. D is how much? 237.07. 237.07. So this will give us, let's see what? 411.73 minus 2.236 multiplied with 237.07. So this will give us negative of 118.36 meter. Okay, so this is by putting the first value of the D. Also, if you put the second value, the B will be how much? 411.73 minus 2.236 multiplied with 0.101. 0.101. So let's see what you get upon doing this. 0.101. So this will give us 411.5 meter. So now you can see that we have got one negative and one positive. So what is the meaning of the negative length? It is meaningless. Okay. So next length cannot be negative. So since you write down length cannot be negative. So since length cannot be negative, so which value of B are you going to accept? We will be accepting the second one. So therefore B will be 411.5 meter and the corresponding D value for this it is 0.101 meter. Okay, so we have got, since we have got two values but we are using only one. Why? Because one of them has given as a negative. So if in your scientific calculator, suppose you use your shift and solve, you will get any one of the answer. Suppose you have got the answer as the first one 237.07, then corresponding to that you will be finding out the B value, you are getting the negative, so it will simply be wasted of your time. So finally we have got the value of the B and D for our trapezoidal open source channel. So finally after calculation and all, you have to make the diagram. So your diagram will look something like this. So this is our trapezoidal channel and the base width, it is how much? 411.5 meter. And depth of the flow, it is only 0.101 or 0.1 meter, isn't it? So you might have observed that this is very high. This is highly unrealistic, isn't it? So unrealistic means the width is very large, approximately half the kilometer, and depth is only 10 centimeter. But so the exam's questions answer, it may be anything. So you don't have to bother about if it is realistic or unrealistic. Don't think it practically, okay? So whatever answer you are getting numerically, you report that as your answer, okay? In the exam, I have seen most of the students in the test series, so they have not done it correctly. So what mistake many people has made is, some of you have calculated up to the d equal to 0.1 meter. After calculating this d equal to 0.1 meter, so that when you calculated the b value, you just have to put in the equation. You might have got for 11.5 meter, but many students has not written this. Maybe you have thought that this is unrealistic, so you have not written. Okay, so don't bother about that. And second thing, many students did the solve the equation by using the solve function in the calculator, by using the shift and solve, isn't it? So for there, you got the d value, which gave us the b value negative, like we have discussed earlier. So there also mistake has been done. And some students, they have used the channel, means they have used the condition of the most economical. They have used the condition of the most economical. Again, if you are using the most economical condition, it will be wrong, because it was not said in the question anywhere that it is an economical section. So those who have made the mistake, you will be able to see it in your check answer sheet when we give it back to you. Anyway, so your answer for this question, the base width is for 11.5 meter and the depth of the flow is only 0.1 meter. Okay, so finally you make this figure, and this is the solution of this question.